Yo, what's going on? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Light Gamer. I'm back you with another YouTube video. We're gonna be reacting to how fish sticks are made, man. Probably gonna be a little weird or disgusting process, bro. But let's check this out. Let's see what's going on with it. Let me know what you guys think, your opinions and everything, bro. Um, have you guys ever had fish sticks too? I'm just wondering about that. I have. They're delicious, man, especially when they're crispy and stuff. So, but anyways, let's check this out. Let's get it started. Let's get it going. I'm gonna be quiet. Let's check it out. Ain't no way we got an ad already, but we're gonna skip it.
Since 1953, when the Gorton Pew fishery introduced the world to ready-to-cook frozen fish sticks, this crispy golden snack has become a household favorite. From busy weeknights to school lunches, fish sticks.
Hell yeah, bro. Fish sticks are a bomb. By the way, I just gotta say, my mom, something she always would make for me as a kid, like, or my dad, when they didn't feel like cooking. And either way, it still hit the spot, man. Fish sticks are the thing. Even if my mom don't cook like, dad get off of work, she'll still do that. So,
Sticks have solidified their place as one of the most convenient seafood dishes in the world. At the heart of this $1.9 billion industry is the Alaska pollock fishery, where high-tech factory trawlers and precision-engineered nets haul in massive catches that supply the key ingredient for fish sticks, imitation crab, and even McDonald's Filet-O-Fish. But before they hit your plate, these fish must be hunted down in some of the world's most brutal waters. It's a battle against the elements, where seasoned fishermen brave towering waves and freezing temperatures to bring in the catch. So, how does an Alaska pollock go from the icy depths of the ocean to a perfectly crispy fish stick? Hop aboard with us and find out. It all begins here in the Bering Sea. Sitting between the rugged shores of Alaska and the vast expanse of Siberia, this frigid body of water is home to a wide variety of undersea life, including king crabs and over 400 varieties of fish, like herring, cod, Pacific salmon, and more. But the catch of choice for fish sticks are Alaska pollock, a member of the cod family. These highly sought-after fish grow to be about a foot or two, weighing between 1 and 2 pounds, and can live for up to 15 years. However, since they're a favorite meal for natural predators like seals, few ever make it to that age. Pollock mainly feed on tiny crustaceans known as zooplankton, and tend to stick close to the ocean floor, where safety is just a little more assured. Despite being the most abundant fish in the Bering Sea, authorities only allow 15% of the annual pollock population to be harvested, ensuring these fish remain plentiful in our oceans. To catch the pollock, fishermen use a specialized fishing vessel like this one, specifically designed to house the ship's crew and cargo for extended periods. The vessel is over 370 feet long and more than 60 feet high, with a hull lined with steel reinforcement to withstand the harsh weather conditions of the Bering Sea. It's powered by a huge 6,000 horsepower diesel engine that turns a 13-foot propeller, pushing the ship through the rough waters at about 15 knots. Up in the wheelhouse, the captain has a panoramic view of the bustling deck below, where sturdy nets and essential safety gear like lifeboats are always at the ready. But the magic isn't just on deck. Life on board is surprisingly comfortable. With crews spending 2 to 3 weeks at sea, the vessel offers all the comforts of home, like cozy beds, TVs, and even internet. Plus, a fully stocked kitchen staff.
bro, he said cozy beds. Okay, one thing I know, those beds ain't cozy, man. And they probably don't got Wi-Fi like they say they do. Like, I know it's crab, but I've watched Deadliest Catch, bro, and I know that it ain't like that. So, he capping a little bit on that. So,
Is hard at work around the clock, making sure everyone is well fed for the journey ahead. Perhaps the most impressive feature of this modern fishing vessel, though, is that it's not just a boat, it's a floating factory. Stretching across 3/4 of the ship's length, this underneath facility can process up to 750 fresh pollock per minute, transforming them into packaged frozen product directly on board. This state-of-the-art processing plant gives the vessel a huge advantage. With room for up to 300 tons of additional cargo, the trawler can stay at sea longer, maximizing every moment on the water without the constant need to return to shore. This ingenious setup means crews can focus on what they do best, reeling in the fish.
Find buzzer beaters and cliffhangers in one place.
To haul in that impressive 300 tons of cargo, it all starts with finding the fish. That's where this acoustic echo sounder comes into play. Mounted right under the ship's hull, this high-tech sonar device sends out sound waves that ping deep into the ocean, bouncing off the seabed and any fish in its path. It's especially tuned to pick up the tiny pockets of air in a pollock's swim bladder, pinpointing entire schools with incredible precision. With this tech on board, nets are cast in just the right spots, keeping the floating factory fully supplied and maximizing.
That's crazy. So that's like the newer high tech. I'm wondering if like they do that even when they catch crab and other things out there. If that, like, it would make sense, man. It just makes things. I mean, with tech, man, things get a lot more easier, and it's it's a crazy process, man. So
Every minute at sea. Once the fish have been located, the crew springs into action with a procedure called the outhaul. It all starts when this deckhand attaches this strong cable and hook to the very back of the net, effectively pulling it down the stern's ramp into the water. Just as the net begins its descent, another deckhand quickly detaches the cable hook via an extension wire. With the ship cruising at about 3 knots, the natural current takes over, expanding the net into its full cone-shaped length. Before long, the net and its network of chains and cables spans an impressive half-mile, perfectly set to capture schools of pollock. Fun fact: the nets used by commercial fishing trawlers are high-tech pieces of equipment that come loaded with specialized tools to streamline the process. In fact, this advanced netting rig is so cutting-edge it can cost up to $500,000, a true testament to modern maritime technology. Next, the crew lowers.
you know that's something I've never thought about, dude. How much those nets cost? But 500,000 for those type of nets, dude, and just the technology, man. That's bonkers, bro. Man, I don't even just to think if you ever had that type of money. So yeah, that's crazy, but dude, holy snap.
The 2 otter doors into the water via chains. These heavy metal devices, attached to either side of the net's upper edge, are engineered to harness the flow of water, creating a hydrodynamic spread that keeps the net's mouth open, setting an ideal trap for any passing fish. At the same time, formidable chain weights anchor the net's base, guiding it down to a depth of roughly 5 fathoms or 30 feet beneath the surface. Attached to the top of the net is the transducer, also known as the suitcase. Much like the acoustic echo sounder underneath the ship's hull, the transducer sends a downward pulse that bounces back off the net's mouth, giving the captain a real-time snapshot of its shape. As schools of pollock steadily accumulate into the cone-shaped cod end, the opening gradually narrows, sending signals to the captain that the net is filling to capacity. When the transducer signals that the net is full, the crew springs into action to retrieve the net. During this phase, deckhands watch closely as robust chains and cables lift the otter doors from the depths, with the weight chains quickly following. Once the net begins its ascent, a deckhand carefully removes the transducer from its top. Throughout the process, the entire crew remains alert, ensuring the net stays clear of any snags or entanglements with the ship's equipment. Once the cod end,
Pretty much if it snags, bro, you're about to lose a lot of fish, man, and that can be all freaking bad, bro, because that's a lot of money that could probably go down the drain. And I mean, those fish are going back to the ocean, but still, bro, like, shoot, man.
brimming with pollock, is hauled onto the deck, the next step is to unload it. A deckhand pops open a zipper at the net's end, and in an instant, the catch cascades over grates that channel the fish straight into the storage bins below deck. It's a swift, mesmerizing transition from the ocean's depths to the ship's hold. The pollock then find their new temporary home in one of 3 storage bins below deck, each capable of holding up to 100 tons of fish. But it's not all keepers. A common side effect of net fishing is called bycatch, the term used for anything the nets haul up that isn't Alaska pollock. Over the years, fishermen have hauled in all sorts of unexpected surprises, from massive whale carcasses to, oddly enough, old washing machines lost at sea. The non-targeted species are handled carefully.
That's crazy, bro, but it's true, man. Dude, not a washer machine, bro. But yeah, that is crazy, bro, to catch a whale. There should honestly be like better ideas instead of catching whales. So, but I kind of get that. So,
And return to the sea to ensure the ocean's balance is maintained. It's a practiced dance of sustainability, ensuring only what's needed is kept. After the bycatch is sorted out, the remaining pollock are fed into this sorting machine. This clever device uses widening roller gaps to automatically separate the fish by size. The smaller fish slip through the openings onto one conveyor belt to be transformed into surimi, while the larger fish are guided along a different conveyor where they're precisely filleted. As the larger pollock come off the conveyor belt, they are dropped in front of a fish driver, who is tasked with making sure each fish is facing the same way on the conveyor as it passes through to the next step. Fish driving is one of the hardest jobs on the ship, due in part to the 15-hour shifts required. Next, the pollock move on to the evisceration stage. This specialized machine precisely decapitates up to 150 fish per minute, then immediately squeezes out the innards. From here, the fish bodies travel to this fillet machine that carries the fish along.
150 fish a minute is crazy, dude. So how many fish is that in an hour, bro? Dude, hold on, I gotta look that up. Dude, that's 9,000 fish an hour. Dude. So 6 times 24 is 140, so 140,000. Because that's how much 24 hours is. 216,000 fish pretty much are caught up in 24 hours that in a period, bro. That's crazy, dude. That's a lot of dang fish too, bro.
A conveyor toward 4 sequential sets of blades. The first set cuts the fish down the bottom center, then the ribs and backbone are cut out, before a final set of blades removes the dorsal fin and cuts the body into 2 perfectly deboned fillets. To match the deck's impressive haul, 5 filleting machines operate concurrently, collectively processing up to 45,000 fish per hour and ensuring a smooth, uninterrupted flow from catch to processing.
This may be the last ad you ever see, because once I added the extension from Capital One Shopping.
Moving down the line, the next critical step is candling. Here, each fillet passes over a backlit conveyor belt, a method allowing workers to spot and remove any remaining bones, skin, or parasites. It's meticulous work, ensuring that every bite is perfectly safe and enjoyable. Next, the smaller boneless fillets are taken to a different machine where they are minced, bleached, and washed in cold water before being sent to a machine that presses it into a bland paste-like substance called surimi. From here, the surimi can be combined with artificial flavoring and used as a base for higher-end seafoods such as imitation crab meat. The remaining larger pollock fillets are then gathered and weighed before being tightly packed together and then pressed into uniform rectangle fish blocks, ready for freezing. After shaping, the fish blocks head into a deep freeze. Here, they're placed into this plate freezer for 2 hours and chilled to a crisp -13 degrees by liquid Freon, locking in freshness as they solidify into rectangular blocks. Fun fact, rapid freezing is very important for raw seafood, as warm conditions can ramp up microbial activity and spoilage. By freezing the fish quickly, the decomposition process is effectively halted. When the blocks are frozen solid, a crewman quickly transfers the blocks out of the plate freezer onto a conveyor belt, where they move onto the next station. Next, these frozen blocks are neatly packed into boxes. Think of it like a game of Tetris, where each block fits perfectly to optimize space. Now, at the packaging station, each box is carefully packed, sealed, and labeled with essential details like the product's name, its weight, and the exact date and time of packaging. This critical information ensures quality control can quickly pinpoint and address any issues that might arise with a specific batch of pollock. Impressively,
That's crazy. They really be getting into detail with it, bro. Like especially when they're shipping stuff out, so you don't know if what they you pretty much they're telling you what fish it is and stuff like that. The date, time, everything.
This department can pack and move over 120 tons or 240,000 pounds of product every day. Once sealed, the boxes are moved along the conveyor to this cold storage hold, a giant refrigerator within the ship's hull. Here, stacked high and kept at -22 degrees Fahrenheit, the pollock awaits its journey to shore, ensuring it stays as fresh as the day it was caught. As soon as the ship reaches the port, it's time to unload. With a frozen product as volatile as fish, an army of crew members on the loading docks and the ship work together to unload the cargo as quickly as possible. In short order, the boxes of frozen Alaska pollock are transferred from the ship to refrigerated shipping containers. Once the unloading is complete, the containers are taken to the factory by truck. Now, at the factory, the boxes are unloaded into even larger cold storage facilities, where they'll stay until they're ready to be distributed to supermarkets and restaurants. It's here that our journey from ocean to table comes full circle. Before the pollock can be transformed into a fish stick, it must first clear a rigorous quality check. First, a random frozen fish block is carefully selected and measured down to the millimeter, ensuring it's the perfect size for the cutting machines. Even a slight size deviation could cause jams or other hiccups that slow down production. Once the block passes the size check, it's thawed and subjected to an intensive quality test where both the texture and taste of the fish are evaluated.
That's insane, bro. So you have to taste the fish, they have to measure the block just to make sure that it's good enough to be turned into what is known as a fish stick. Okay, that's interesting. That's really interesting process. And now I've really learned how fish sticks are made.
Then, after approval, the factory staff quickly open the boxes and put the frozen blocks on a conveyor belt that sends them along to be cut down to size. Now, on their way to being turned into their familiar fish finger shape, the frozen blocks of Alaska pollock are cut several times. An automatic bandsaw blade first cuts the block in half, while more bandsaws along the conveyor cut the halves into 9 bars each. As the blocks are whittled into smaller pieces, they're finally sent through a series of rotating blades that cut them into fish sticks. Each of these frozen blocks contains enough fish to produce 378 fish sticks. Now it's time to add batter to the fish sticks via a process called enrobing. The newly chopped sticks ride a conveyor belt that carries them under a waterfall of thick, velvety batter. This isn't just any mixture of water, flour, and salt, though. It's a carefully crafted blend that includes a secret mix of spices and just a hint of sweetness. After they're perfectly coated, the sticks glide beneath high-precision air jets that gently sweep away any excess batter. This process ensures the ideal batter-to-fish ratio, keeping the succulent fish as the star of the show. It's all about achieving that perfect, light, crispy texture that seafood lovers simply can't resist. Next, the fish sticks travel under a machine that applies the perfect amount of breading to each one before they move on. The batter coating they just receive acts as a sort of glue to ensure the loose breadcrumb coating stays on the fish sticks.
Yo, dude, just the whole process, if you think about it. You have to freeze it twice because it goes on a ship and they freeze it there. Then you gotta go to a facility and make it and turn it into fish stick freezes. Then you start into this process. Dude.
Embarrassing story, but my car broke down and I didn't have the money to fix it. A friend told me she got a $5,000.
Now the sticks travel into the deep fryer, where they're pre-fried for just 30 seconds in vegetable oil heated to about 392 degrees Fahrenheit. This brief blast of heat only crisps the outer layer, just enough to lock the breading in place, making sure it doesn't rub off during transport or in the box. At the same time, this step is precisely timed to keep the inner fish frozen. If it were fully cooked, the fish would fall apart when heated at home. It's a precise balancing act, locking in a crispy, golden crust while preserving the tender flaky fish within. As soon as they have been fried, the fish sticks are immediately sent to a cooling room, where they will spend 15 minutes at minus 22 degrees Fahrenheit. And finally, after passing every quality check and reaching peak perfection, our fish sticks are done, ready to set sail from the factory to your dinner table. After freezing, they are sent along conveyors, where staff sort them all and make sure they are lined up and facing the same direction, while robots gently grab the fish sticks and place them into boxes of 10. As soon as each box of fish sticks is packed and sealed, they are stacked on a pallet and placed in the freezer. At this point, our perfectly packaged fish stick boxes are loaded onto refrigerated trucks.
So they get put in the freezer for a third time if you think about that, bro. Just how many, like, you have to be very careful with each process. If you don't freeze those 3 times or do what's supposed to be done, then the whole process is screwed up and pretty much has money down the drain there too.
As they embark on a nationwide voyage from the freezer to your dinner plate, ready to deliver that irresistible taste of the sea. And there you have it. Turning pollock from the ocean into crispy, golden fish sticks is a complex journey with many moving parts. But as many will agree, every step is well worth it. These frozen favorites are a versatile and delicious treat that can be enjoyed anytime. Thanks for watching Made Vision. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, that's crazy how fish sticks are made. And by the way, they are bomb. I don't care what anyone says. By the way, I just thought about it. They get frozen 4 times when they're in the grocery store, when they get shipped out. So, yeah. Anyways, let me know you guys think your reaction, how fish sticks are made. I think that's an amazing process. Awesome, bro. Let me know what y'all think. Drop a like on the video if you're new to the channel. Be sure to subscribe as well, man. I'd appreciate it. And leave a comment below on your opinions or what you guys think. Anyways, I'm Delight or Delight Gamer. And until next time, I'll catch y'all with another video soon. I'm out of here. Peace.